You're watching the best of Extra Time Radio on MLSsoccer.com.
Guys, let's talk about this U.S. draw against England. Gained a point, starting from the top of the biggest news of the day. And if you're a U.S. fan, that has to be the biggest news of the day. 1-1 draw, getting out of it with a point.
They get out of it with a point, Jason, but at the end of the day, it was a game that was hyped up for months, and at the end of it, I don't really feel like there was anything transcendental to come out of it. I think it had great potential to really change maybe the game in the United States. Now, maybe that transcendental game has been now set up later in the World Cup by this draw that might get the U.S. out of the group. But you know, you were only almost hoping for something really memorable. It's going to go down as the green, you know, gaff game. It's just that's the way it's going to be, and the game in which Fabio Capello had a lot of lineup decisions that backfired on him.
This game, given 6 months of build-up, the way we build everything up in the U.S., lacked that sort of electric moment, right? It lacked that great Josie Altidore goal. It lacked anything they could sort of hang their hat on specifically. But that being said, I think it's a great positive for them in terms of going forward in this World Cup. And I think that despite not getting a win in this one, this is one that, Jason, I think you're right. There's probably a handful of people out there, more than a handful hopefully, who watched this game, had enough interest in the result and could say, wow, the U.S. played even with England, which I didn't know they could do. And hopefully they'll tune in next week and hopefully the U.S. gets a result there and then it builds. But I do agree with you. Yeah, there was no explosive moment. The one defining moment of this game and maybe of the World Cup thus far is a fluke, unfortunately.
Nick, what are your thoughts about the result today?
Well, good evening, gentlemen. It's a bitter pill to swallow, actually. I thought England were by far the better team, but give USA all the credit in the world. They got the goal, they got the point, and at the end of the day, the result doesn't hurt either team.
And what's your reasoning for saying that? You think they're that far and away better than the other two teams in the group?
Well, looking at the England performance, if they'd taken their chances, then 3 points would have been in the bag. Algeria and Slovenia, I don't think we can expect a great deal from them. The U.S. didn't look bad at times. Altidore looked a real handful. And, in Tim Howard, you've got a goalkeeper who's probably one of the best goalkeepers in the tournament. Unfortunately, if England had Howard, it would be a different story right now.
Nick, from your vantage point, what happened to Wayne Rooney in this game, and why did we see so little of him? I think it has more to do with England not getting him involved, as opposed to the U.S. really putting the clamping down on Wayne Rooney.
Well, I think at the moment Wayne Rooney's slightly off the pace. If you look at his goal-scoring record, he banged home 32, 33 domestically, but his last goal was back on March the 31st. And he really hasn't been the same player since the ankle injury he suffered against Bayern Munich. I don't think he's 100% fit, and if Wayne Rooney is not 100% fit, then that's going to be always going to be tough for England.
We touched a little bit on the stadium atmosphere. Obviously, watching back here from the States, it was sort of tough to get an impression. What was the fan breakdown, and what was the atmosphere like?
Well, the atmosphere was very good, and there was the American presence was outstanding. I would say it was probably maybe 55 England, 10-15% local, and maybe 25% American fans, and they were very vocal throughout the game. Although, it's a bit hard to hear with those the vuvuzelas blaring throughout the 90 minutes.
Simon, real quick, let's touch on the other games and what we saw today with Argentina, a 1-0 win against Nigeria, and basically people figure that that's going to be Argentina's toughest opponent. It turned out to be, although Argentina, if they finished a little better, and if Inyema, the Nigeria goalkeeper, didn't have the game of his life, probably would have been a higher scoring game.
Argentina solid. It was the game I think we should have expected from them. Messi did very well. The questions he has coming into this World Cup about his performances for Argentina, I think he did very well. Yeah, Nigeria had a chance or two during the game, but my take from this match is that African teams, here they are on their African continent, and people made it out to seem like they would have a much better performances. They would be teams transformed. Well, frankly, anywhere you take them around the world, we continue to see the same disturbing trends out of African teams. The Nigerian squad were sloppy as they get. I mean, they did not look like a world-class team, even though they have world-class players. As a team, they made so many sloppy errors, from throw-ins to missed passes to just, I mean, they were just sloppy all around. I mean, the Swedish coach on the sideline, he had his head down for most of that game. So that they lost only 1-0, despite their, you know, being so poor, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, all these basic things. You know, I think this is what we get used to from African teams.